Well, we're here at Morris Lubricants Racing with our brand ambassadors today. We've got David Jenkins, Lydia Walmsley and Guy Martin, and we're going to be chatting through some of the highs and the lows of motorsport and sports in general, because I'm sure you've had moments that you absolutely cherish in your careers and your experiences, but you'll have also had some pretty low moments where you've got to dust yourself off and crack on again once more. I'll start with you, if I may, Dave, this time, and we'll work our way through our ambassadors here. You've had some pretty big achievements. You've had plenty of wins in the British Truck Racing Championship and the other areas of motorsport, rallying that you've been involved with as well in the past. What for you is your biggest achievement, do you think?
I think the biggest achievement is 23 years later, still living the dream, still doing what I love doing and what I'm good at doing. So that's what I live by. I'm just happy to still be doing what we're doing and still be as well supported as we are. I think as a young man back in 2000, we built and created a truck, our own small family team, and we turned up with it at the first ever race meeting and won the first 2 races we went to with it. I think that's one that you really look back on. Special moments, being on the podium at Le Mans in 2001 and 2002, top step of the podium at the truck racing at Le Mans, once again, as much younger than I am these days, and the thoughts that you still go back to, amazing. Most unusual achievement, I think, was from 2016, and that was winning in India at the Tata Motors Grand Prix on the Buddha International Grand Prix circuit in New Delhi. It's a huge event, and we'd been there for a few years on the trot. One make series, really well engineered trucks, but quite simple. Thousands and thousands of people bussed in on race day to come and watch what was going on, and all the jingly parades, and a really unique event. And the first year I finished second. The second year I crashed so badly the engine fell out of it. And surprisingly enough, I got invited back for the third year. I think it's just for the entertainment value. And I went on to win that event. And it was mad. They literally lifted you out the truck, big lads, lifted you out the truck and tossed you around a bit, and then took you away to a press conference, then missed the bus back to the hotel, and then finally got back to the hotel at 9 o'clock at night, through the shower, onto the airport, onto the plane home by midnight. 9 hours back, I think, on the flight home, landed in Heathrow at 5 o'clock in the morning, in the trusty transit, and back to work for 8 o'clock on the Monday morning. And it was like, how was your weekend? Oh, I won a GP in India yesterday, and now I'm back at work. So I think that was probably the most unusual achievement.
I mean, that event, I gather, out in India, as you were saying, the Tata Motors One Make Truck Series, you were perceived, the British guys that went across, and some European drivers went across in the latter stages of those events, and you were superstars when you got out there, weren't you?
Yeah, it was a really good event because it was all about making the trucking industry more glamorous. Guys got knowledge of the trucking industry in India, and the industry's terrible. It's very low paid. The drivers weren't very well respected at all, were they? And they tried to use the medium of truck racing to gain recognition for truckers and the trucking industry. And that's what Tata did it for. And it worked very well in the end, because they did glamorise it and they did think we were superstars. But not for long, as I got reminded when I got back home.
I'll come back to you. I'll work my way around. I'll come back to you because I've got a second question that I want to pose to everybody. Lydia, you're already, you're only 18 years of age, but you're already 10 years into your motorsport career, and you've achieved some great things already. Lots more to achieve, I'm sure, in the future. But just talk us through your achievements so far.
10 years sounds quite scary, doesn't it? It doesn't seem that long, but I would probably say my greatest achievement was 2 back-to-back titles in 2 different classes in 2 consecutive years in karting. I think that was probably a great achievement for me. Started off in the Mini-Max and won the championship, and then moved up to the quicker junior road tax class the next year, and in the first year won the championship in that as well. And I think that's brilliant. I think we're such a small family-run team. We were competing against much bigger budgets, and we were doing it, dad and daughter. It was brilliant, and we were competing against big people, and it was fantastic. And I think that's a great achievement.
And you look at that was Ella, wasn't it? It was your local kart track where you were the back-to-back champion. You look at things like Mini-Max, and you look at junior road tax, and I've raced in senior karting in the past as well. Hugely competitive. You have to be very talented to achieve what you achieved.
It is, yeah. It's tense between first and last place. it's brilliant. And people were doing a lot of testing, and we were just turning up on a Saturday and having a bit of fun, and I think that's what it's all about. But I'd probably say another achievement would be being taken seriously as a woman in a male-dominated sport. I think that's brilliant, and I think it's fantastic that women can compete against men on a level playing field. I think that's brilliant. There's not many sports where you can do that, and I think that's an achievement in itself.
I couldn't agree more as well. I think it's always great to see, and it's wonderful that it's being encouraged more and more. And I'm sure there are any barriers there to entry as such, but it's now absolutely a level playing field. And as we know, with what you've been achieving in the mini challenge, then you're right up there at the sharp end. Yeah, well, there's absolutely nothing about motorsport that a woman can't do what a man can. So I don't see why a woman can't get to the top just like a man. And I'm hoping that I can be that person. We hope so too. We hope so too. Guy, you've achieved some amazing things over the years. Your record-breaking things that you've done, the amount of podiums you've had at the TT and all of the various classes as well. What's your standout one?
I'm always looking at what I'm doing and not what I've done. You know what I mean? I'm not the only things that stand out for me, that really stand out, is the push bike racing. I did well, it wasn't even a push bike race, it was just a ride. I rode from Canada to Mexico, and I got to the end, and this was only like 3 years ago, and I bloody bawled my bloody eyes out. And I've never done anything that's ever made me do that before. How far is that? 2,780 miles. Wow. On a push bike. Was that solo? Yeah, you no outside assistance. I just set off and got there when I got there. Down the continental divide. Down like the sort of, I don't know if you know the definition of the continental divide is. I think to the west, the water flows to the Pacific, and to the east, the water flows to the Atlantic. I think that's right. Is that right? Yeah. Anyway, that's sort of the definition. Anyway, it just sort of goes down through sort of. And that's relentless. And I can sort of, I've got a bit of experience here because I did a solo Land's End to John O'Groats back some years ago, and it was on a push bike, on a hybrid push bike. With support, so I'd see somebody each evening, but that would be it. Riding, it's just you and the bike, and I don't know whether you had the same, but mentally you'll look at your cadence and see you slowing up, and I've got to keep going, Yeah. It's relentless, isn't it? Relentless. And carried all my kit with me, just like riding for 20 hours a day, and I got to the end, Yes, I suppose that sort of stands out, really. And then, what I'm trying to do now is sort of just demanding all of my spare time and money is to try and do 300 mile an hour. That's what I'm trying to do on my motorbike. I'm always thinking about it. I never give up. I'm always thinking about what can I do
always
next?
Looking forward at the next achievement.
Looking at the weather. Right, what's the weather doing? When can I go? Yeah, I've been looking because it does look quite good on Friday. So I'm like, see if I can get a run out on Friday. Because I'm always mucking about. But but I'm not really looking back at. You're looking at what the next one's going to be. Yeah, just what am I doing next? That's the only thing that stands out is me daft push bike stuff, because I roared at the end of it. Hats off to that. And you did a 24-hour, that's another record, wasn't it? Goodwood, the cycle-powered one, 564 miles. We did, tandem. Yeah, tandem record in 24 hours, Bloody hell, that was some bloody sat in your own piss for 24 hours. That's what it was, bloody, I'll tell you. I won't forget that in Ori. I don't think we will. It was like, if you have a 500 mile, I can't remember. 564, I think. Is that what it was? I think so, off the top of my head. 564, I think. You know the bloody score. I'll have a look back at my notes and I'll let you know. So that's sort of, I won't forget that one. Yeah, but motorsport-wise, I'm just looking. What I'm doing now. What I'm doing now is my 300 mile an hour thing. Well, fingers crossed that's the next achievement then. Fingers crossed that's the next. It's the same, innit? Same. Yeah, it will be either that or I'll die trying. Well, let's hope not. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's the highs. That's the highs. There's got to be some low points in there as well, and these are the ones that are more difficult to talk about. But Dave, you've been in British truck racing for so long. You're a former champion in it. You've been right at the sharp end for so many years. But there must be some real low moments in there where you maybe thought it was time to walk away, and you have to pick yourself up, dust yourself down, come back even stronger. I'm a firm believer in trying to take the positives out of situations. And if you didn't have a bad day, you wouldn't appreciate the good days, would you? So there has been some bad times. There's been some crashes. There's been some disagreements, all those sorts of things. But on the whole, I look back at my whole career and everything that we've done in a positive manner. I think the biggest disappointment
probably was way back in 2005. We'd had a really strong season, troubled start at the start of the year, raced really well, and we got to Brands Hatch to the season finale, and we needed to finish in 4th place in the race or wherever it was to win the championship. That was the maths behind it. And I was sitting 3rd as we approached Druids on the last lap, and I got taken out from behind, and I managed to spin it round and get going and overtake a few back markers, and we ended up crossing the line in 5th place, and we lost the championship that year by 1 single point after fighting tooth and nail. And I think that's one of the ones that you look back on and think, yeah, perhaps I was a bit robbed there.
The one that got away. The one that got away. Is that do you think a missed opportunity there? If you could go back to that race now, would you do something different, or would you still stick with what the plan was, which was to make sure that you were at the time in a position that would win you the championship? And it was an outside influence by the sounds of it that
yeah,
took that
it was
away.
an outside influence, and it was a guy that I've gone on to be good friends with. I don't know if I would have done anything different. This year we've ended up in a similar championship. It's been a very difficult year this year, as everybody knows, but we ended up in a championship fighting position at the very last round this year, and I was overcautious, and ultimately that cost us the championship this year. You know, way back in 2005, I think I had thrown caution to the wind that day. So in that particular circumstance, we probably needed to steady up a little bit. But this year, we needed to be possibly more aggressive towards the end of the year. So even after all these years, there's no right or wrong, is there?
No. Yeah, you live and learn. You live and learn. Lydia, any regrets, missed opportunities, or low points for you that stand out?
I don't have any regrets. I think the same as Dave. I think everything that happens shapes your story, doesn't it? And I try to take the positive. I think you can learn something from every mistake, I guess, and turn it into something that's not a mistake, because you can learn from it. I mean, I remember rolling at Knockhill in 2017. I haven't made the same mistake again, because it was quite a costly thing to learn. It was a hard way to learn, but you don't make the same mistake twice, do you? So I'd probably say I don't have any regrets, but I remember breaking my leg at 10 years old, and that was just disappointing because I had so much time out. I mean, when you're 10 years old, all you want to do is go to the racetrack and race, and I couldn't do that. So that was probably one of the lowest points, but I mean, it's made me the person I am today, I think. So I wouldn't change it, because it's part of my story.
Did that time out make you even more hungry to get back?
I just couldn't wait to get going again. As soon as I was fixed, I was back out, go-kart was fixed, and just went racing again. It was just, when you're that young, you don't really care what happens. You just want to go and enjoy yourself and have an exhilarating time, and that's what I was doing. I was only 10 years old and wasn't really looking to the future, was just enjoying myself, and I think that's what it's all about.
Well, let's hope that that positive attitude is, I think, what everybody thrives on in motorsport, isn't it? It's that mentality, and you've got that in abundance as well, Guy. There must be some regrets, or maybe you think some missed opportunities in your career, because you've been through the mill a bit with a couple of broken backs along the way.
Oh yeah, a bit of broken stuff, a bit of metal. Yeah, I'm the same as you. What hurts you makes you stronger, doesn't it? You learn. You know, if it wasn't for for all those, I don't know what you call them, issues. It wouldn't. You wouldn't be the person you were today. For me, it did me a right turn, really. I had a big do. It's probably my biggest crash. No, I've had loads of big crashes, because I'm quite good. I was quite good at that. No, but I used to go the odd year without any crashes, and then when I did it quite well. But I come off at the Ulster Grand Prix, and I think that was the most bones I'd broke in one sitting. They'd plate me hand up, my ribs punctured me lungs. I made a right mess of myself, and I was laid in, because I was sort of doing 24-hour mountain bike racing at the same time I was racing bikes. I used to do it like a couple of 3 times a year. It was all right, and I was all right at it. But there was always, I sort of got a bit bored of it, because it was only 24 hours. I thought, I could do something that's a bit tougher. And I knew about this race in America, this Tour Divide, which is from Canada to Mexico, and I thought, I'm going to do that one year. And then I found out it was the same time as the TT, and I thought, I'm never going to fit that in, am I? So there's me, came off at the Ulster Grand Prix, 2015, I think it was. All of these broken bones, right? And I'm laid down, I'm bloody knackered, and I'm thinking, right, you know what I'm going to do? Next year, I'm not going to race a TT, I'm going to get fit, and I'm going to go race that race. And that's what I did. And that sort of changed my life, really, doing that.
Negative into a positive, come back stronger, bounce back.
Yeah, and I did it. That was a reason. Yeah, I'd been screwed together in the morning, and I remember I walked that night, and I thought, right, that's what's happening. I'm going to pull myself together, and that's what I'm going to do. And I did, and I got ready, and I finished the race.
That epiphany moment,
Yeah.
fantastic stuff, fantastic. So we will be catching up and asking some more questions of our fantastic Morris Lubricants Racing ambassadors. So keep an eye on our website, look out on social media.